Hey guys, Matt here from JankyShack.com. Today we're going to be working on this mouse. I've had this mouse for about 10 years. It's been around the country with me. It's my favorite mouse, and they stopped producing these somewhere around 2008. So getting a replacement is not an option, and I really don't want to spend $50, $70 for a new one. So we're going to go ahead and try to replace the cable today, which I'm making a bet basically that the cable is broken. I got intermittent working when I move it, or when normal use. So I think probably somewhere around in here, just by pulling the mouse for 10 years, probably a broken wire in there, and so it needs to be replaced. So we're gonna go ahead and open up this mouse and see what we need to do to replace it. What we're gonna need today is a USB cable with an A end. The other end's already been cut off for a different project, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and cut more of it. We'll need a soldering iron, some solder, some cutters, and a #1 Phillips screwdriver. So basically there are 4 screws on the bottom of this mouse. Here, 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 and here. And you can just take your screwdriver and just poke through these, they call them skates. They're basically just foam tape with like a hard surface on the bottom. So just go ahead and unscrew these screws. And then the mouse should come apart. There's a little connector here you can unplug for the side buttons. So this connector is for these 2 buttons here. Inside you got the LEDs for the sensitivity settings, scroll wheel. This button and this button are for the plus and minus of the sensitivity. You got your left click here and right click, and then this click. And so basically what the problem most likely is right here in this bend from pulling on this cable for 10 years, probably a broken wire in here. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and replace the entire cable with the other one. So looks like there's a screw here for the weight cage holder. And there's there's the USB cable. So now I guess we're going to try to, we're going to need to reuse this connector. And obviously I don't have the a replacement connector, so we're going to wind up cutting these wires, soldering them to these wires, and heat shrinking, somehow jamming it back into the mouse. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is start preparing the new cable, and I'm just going to start trying to remove the outer case, the outer jacket. So what you see here is you have a shield. Go ahead and just pull that apart. Put that off to the side. And this little wrapper here. So as you can see, this is a much heavier duty cable than what, if you look at how thin the original one is. Yeah, it's got this like rope on it, but it's probably a much cheaper, lighter duty cable, as you can see. So hopefully we'll be able to fit this heavier one in there and then won't have this problem again. So go ahead and rip that off. Okay, so we have 4 wires in the USB. So the red and black ones, this is your 5-volt power. Black is 5-volt ground. Then your green and white are your your data plus and minus for your serial data connection. So if you're going to use like a cell phone or something, cell phone charger, and you just need to power a USB device, you only need these 2. You can cut the green and the white one out. So I had this cable before, but obviously for the mouse we need the communication. So we're gonna, on the connector, you can see there's 5 wires here, and basically what that is this one all the way on the end is they took this shield and they put heat shrink on it and they put it in this last one, and it's just another ground. The shielding is connected to this metal part on the connector, and when you plug it into the into the computer, there's a little finger that will actually ground this metal part, and it grounds the shield through the whole wire, so you don't get any interference from power cables and stuff into your data. So we'll probably do that here also, but if you don't put this last one, it'll probably still work. So we're gonna get into modifying this one now. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna cut it right before where I think the problem area is. That one's garbage now. And there's like a little ferrule here. Okay. Interesting. Pull the ferrule off. And yeah, see, as you can see, it's just that shielding with a little bit of heat shrink on it. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and strip these back, line them up to the, line these up to these, throw some heat shrink, throw some solder, put it back together. So I'm going to be using these side cutters to just try to strip it back. Try to use wire strippers. So you just very light pressure on the side cutters. Might work better this way. I don't know what it is about green wires, but they're always my bad luck ones. Alright, so we got these ones stripped. As you can see, all the little ends. And we're going to do the same for the connector. Actually, probably going to cut this down a little bit. Alright, so I got the soldering iron heating up. And we can start putting them together. Let me get some heat shrinked. I got some that's small enough. Alright, I've got everything soldered in now, and now I'm just going to push the heat shrink over. So I'm just going to use a lighter to shrink the heat shrink. You can use a heat gun if you have one. Obviously the heat, it's not the best. The heat shrink's too big, but it will work for what we're doing. So now try to cram all this in there. So these connectors here, how these work is you flip them up, flip that little tab up, and then the ribbon goes in there. I'm just going to use some electrical tape and do kind of one wrap around this exposed wire right there. In order to get this to fit, I did actually have to remove some material here because this cord was just too fat. It wasn't going to go in, so didn't have to remove it. Now I just have to reconnect everything and see if I can get it back together. Everything seems to work. Now I'm gonna plug it in and see if it works. As you can see, we got the mouse plugged in here, and it works. That's it for this video, guys. If you have a mouse like that and you need to replace the cord, it does work. Unfortunately for me, I think I might have another issue with the motherboard. Maybe a capacitor or something, but we'll look into that in the next video on JankyShack.com.